Namaste. Howdy. How's it going and all that? Here we are. Still here. Pranavam Bhavanukuma Kalabana Pavaka Gyanagan Chasuhradagha Vasiram Sarachabdha Atulita Baladhama Himshalabdeha Dhanurjavana Krishna Jnani Nama Graganyam Sakala Guna Nidhana Vanaranam Disham Raghupati Priya Bhaktam Vatajatam Namami Pushpadi Kritavarisham Mashiki Kritarakshasam Ramayana Mahamalaratnam Andena Vatmajam Anjananandaram Viram Janaki Shokanashanam Kapisamakshahanta Ande Lanka Bhayankaram Vilanga Sindho Salilam Salilam Yoshokavahi Janakatmaja Adatane Dadahalanka Amamitham Pranjali Ranjaniyam Manojavam Marutatulya Begam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Vardashtam Vatatmajam Vanarayutamukyam Shri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadhe Shri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadhe Shri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadhe Shri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadhe Anjaneya Matipatalanam Kanchanada Kamanaya Vigraham Parijata Taramula Vasana Pavayami Pavamana Nandanam Yatra Yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam Tatra Tatra Kritamastakhanjalim Vashpavare Paripurna Lochanam Martinamat Rakshasantakam Bolo Bajranga Bali Hanuman Ki Jai. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 Shri Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri 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 Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai 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 Ram. Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare. Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare. Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare, Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hare. Sitaram, 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 Jai Sitaram, Sitaram. Sitaram, 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 Jai 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 Sitaram. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Let's do some questions now. We'll have a little longer singing time at the end. Okay, questions. Okay, first some announcements. Tomorrow morning, East meets West Guru Purnama musical. Sounds like Guru comes to Broadway. East meets West Guru Purnama musical experience. Starts at 9:30 a.m. It'll last about 4 hours. I'm singing at 10:30 a.m. if I wake up. I probably will. And all the info and registration are on krishnadas.com/events. Then tomorrow night, more Guru Purnima Kirtan with the Brooklyn Kirtan Collective, starting at 7 and ending around 9. And I'll be singing at the end. Nina's singing, others are singing, I don't know exactly who. Saturday afternoon, 2 o'clock New York time, chai and chat. You have to make your own chai, but we can talk together. So that's at 2 o'clock New York time. That's with me. And then the last thing I'll talk about right now is next Thursday, a week from today, we'll be showing the film called Fierce Grace. Our friend Mickey Lemley made this film about Ram Dass after his stroke. And it's a very intense, beautiful, extraordinary film. And it shows a lot of what Ram Dass went through and how he began to overcome the effects of the stroke and his state of mind and his heart. It's just really extraordinary. And also Mickey will be doing a Q&A after the film. So you get a chance to talk to him about whatever you want to talk to him about. Okay, one more thing I'll say is August 20th. Is our first live outdoor festival in a long time in Fairleigh, Vermont. It's called Bhakti Stock. And it'll be out there on the weekend of August 20th to 22nd, so check that out. Okay, questions? Did Maharaji ever read Ramcharitamanas aloud, or did he practice meditation in his kutir? Nobody knows what Maharaji did in his kutir. And he always had Ramcharitamanas, which is the Tulsidas Ramayana, if you don't know what that is. It's the retelling of the Valmiki Ramayana, which is the original story of Ram, original telling of the story of Ram. And it's a retelling of that story by a 16th century poet saint named Tulsidas. And the way he tells the story is very different than the way Valmiki told the story. The way Tulsidas tells the story is with the point of view that Ram is incarnation of Vishnu, of God, and that he's come to destroy negativity and evil in the world and reestablish the Dharma. But it's told in a very devotional way, and it was one of the most important books that I've ever read. It just rewired my brain. Ram Dass gave me his copy of it in 68, 69. And it just blew my mind. So it's quite incredible. So I know he had it read aloud every Tuesday, and wherever he was, there was chanting and that kind of thing. But I don't know if he ever recited it himself out loud publicly, which is, I assume, what you're talking about. I have been chanting the name of Hanuman continuously, but couldn't stop rumination. Oh, I love that word, rumination. How to stop this, as it has adversely impacted my mental health for months? Well, it's very hard to stop rumination, so don't try. Just when you notice you're thinking, let it go and come back to the chant that you're doing. Don't try to stop it. You can't stop it. Did you start it? Where does it come from? Where does it go? We don't know. What we do know is every once in a while we notice that we're not paying attention. And that's when we simply let go of that thought and we come back to the chant. That's why the chant is there, to give you something to come home to. And don't have a lot of expectation about how long this is going to take and how many times you'll have to come back. Expectation is very destructive and very, it just doesn't help at all. So you do your practice and you keep coming home, and eventually you get more comfortable. You don't fight with your thoughts. There's no reason to fight with them. Let them go. Let them go. You don't fight with the clouds in the sky. They just eventually disappear. So that's the attitude that would be very helpful. Don't fight. Let go. Do I believe in vaccine? Yes, I do. I believe in vaccine for a lot of reasons, and one of them is that Maharaji himself encouraged one of his devotees, Dr. Larry Brilliant, to work with the United Nations Health Organization in India to eradicate smallpox. And smallpox was a vicious disease, and there was no cure for it. So they had come up with a vaccine, but it was an incredibly difficult situation to get people vaccinated. India was completely disorganized in that way. So they created a whole program, and they absolutely eradicated smallpox off the face of the earth with vaccine. So I just naturally have a good feeling about those things. I feel my desires have left me with not much love for Maharaji, and this makes me worry. I do want to love him the way I felt loved by him. I can't believe I take him for granted. I fear, what if it's all over? Well, you're still here. See, we have these ideas about what it's supposed to feel like. And that's what keeps us from feeling what it actually is. So you had some experience or experiences of feeling loved and connected to Maharaji, and now those experiences have passed. So that's the way things go, you know. So don't try to move back in time to find that kind of experience. Be here now with what's going on now. And it takes time and commitment to find the deeper love that doesn't come and go. We get a little hit of it every once in a while to remind us that it's there. But basically, most of our lives we just spend doing other things. And it's nobody's fault. That's just the way our karmas are running. We're distracted all the time. So don't feel so bad. Everybody goes through the same things. It's up and down, up and down, up and down. And it's not all over ever. So don't worry about that. There's no end to the love. And eventually there is an end to the negative karmas. And the love is like the sky that holds all the clouds, the birds, the people, the pollution, everything. And it doesn't affect the space, all that stuff. So we have, our consciousness, our awareness has to widen and deepen so that we're not blown around by those winds of desire so much. And that's what happens through practice and through the repetition of the name. So do your practice, live your life, don't worry. Is that a picture of Amma behind me? No, I don't think so. I think you're meaning this lady here is Siddhima. Siddhima was Maharaji's great disciple, and she took care of us for many years after Maharaji left the body in 73. And she just left the body a few years ago. So for all those years, we were going to see her and spend time with her, and she was our ma. You know, she took care of us. What is the importance of chanting the Hanuman Chalisa 7 times? I don't know. It's better than 6 times, not as good as 8. The more you do it, the better it is. So I don't know. 7, what they say in India is 11 times is what we've been asked to do at times, to repeat the Chalisa 11 times a day. Now, you don't have to do that, but it's a practice that some of us do, that we were asked to do. What is it going to take to wake us up? What is it going to take to cut through the fog of stupidity and dullness in our heads and distraction and busyness? It's going to take some effort. So this is why we do a lot of repetitions of the different chants. Every repetition is the planting of a seed also. If you don't plant the seeds, they won't grow. There won't be anything to grow. So we plant the seeds of these names, because these names are deeper than our thoughts and emotions, deeper than our programming, deeper than all the things we think about and even believe. So through the repetition of the name, eventually we're liberated from all that stuff that limits us and hurts us. Why not have someone like a tabla player join you on Thursdays? I don't want to share you with anybody. No, it's been a question of the COVID situation. Until very recently, I didn't really see many people. And Arjun happens to live very far away, so he can't. And also in terms of the setup, it would be more complicated. More sound equipment, different video, everything. So I just keep doing this way for now. We don't know how long this will go on. Once I start traveling, if and when I start traveling, I won't be able to do this every Thursday. So I'll miss it. Do I believe we have ushered in a new era of universal love and collective enlightenment? Do you read the papers? I don't know. It doesn't seem like it, does it? There does seem to be quite a bit of people doing some practice, doing some spiritual work. But there are a lot of people who aren't, who are just destroying the earth and destroying the climate and causing suffering international suffering and fighting? I don't know. It would be great, but we'll have to see how it all works out. One time when I was looking at a picture of Maharaji, I looked at his left eye closely, and it scared me very much. Just how it looked. It looked scary. Can you help me restore faith? I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what you were scared of. You must have some fear in there that you're not working with or that's pushing you around. And so you get scared of things on the outside world, in the outside world. So, one time, I have a little picture of Maharaji and Siddhima in my car, by the clock, in the car. So I parked in a garage in the city once, and when I came back to get the car, the guy who brought me the car said, "Boy, that guy's really scary." I don't know. He doesn't scare me. Actually, he does scare me, but not that way. So don't worry about it. It's just your mind playing tricks with you, and but it may be showing that you have a lot of fear that's hidden underneath, and maybe you should look into that. He's nothing but love. And love calls us and pulls us out of ourselves, and that can be scary sometimes, for sure. But when we let go, there's only love. My close uncle passed away yesterday in an accident 5 kilometers from Kenchi. While my whole family is in India, to get through this, I'm alone in Australia. Tips to get through it alone. Well, you're not alone. Your uncle is with you the same way that he was with you. He was in another country. You didn't see him, but you still felt him. So what's the difference? There's nowhere you can go now to find him in a body, but the love is still with you. The presence is still with you. So don't get stuck, or when you find yourself getting stuck in sadness and whatever, recognize that the love doesn't die. And let yourself grieve, of course. You must grieve if you feel that way, for sure. It's not bad. But also recognize that the love never goes anywhere. There are no dead beings. Bodies come and go. This is what they say. I'm not saying that I know that personally and that I don't grieve over people that I feel that I miss, which is true, I do. But at the same time, I feel the love. I don't let the grief cover the love and lose the love, that feeling of connection to those people. People don't go anywhere. They're always here. They may not be visible in the way we know them. There's another question about a heart being heavy because of somebody's suicide. Yeah. Tremendous sadness when you experience how much suffering there is in the world. Tremendous pain in this world and suffering. And people don't know how to deal with it. And this COVID times, It's worse than ever because people have been locked up in their own apartments, in their rooms, isolating, locked inside their heads. And most people have no understanding of how to work with their own stuff. So they're beaten up and beaten down by their own stuff. It's terrible. And it's going to take time for that to calm down if and when things open up the way they were before. Very painful time for people. Very painful. People get very depressed, very angry, get violent. All because we're being eaten up by our stuff, by our own thoughts, and we don't know how to work with that. That's what all this practice is about. That's what chanting is about. How do we live in this world in a good way, regardless of what's happening in the outside world? How do we stay open and available and present for ourselves and others in the face of all the suffering? That's why practice is so important. Practice is helping me let go of many things. Also, I feel myself detached from idol worship, making me think that why do I need so many idols at home? I guess I would remove so many. Not sure. Am I on track? Well, if you think that they're idols, if you don't see them as a representation of love, then I don't know what you're doing with them. Collecting idols, collecting statues. These are, a murti represents, it's a doorway into a deeper consciousness. Just like we are doorways into it, we have a deeper consciousness within us. And the so-called murtis, or idols, as you use that word, it's not the idol that's God, it's the fact that it represents something. When you look at that murti, that statue, you think of the qualities of that being. It reminds you that there might be more to this world than we think. So I wouldn't be throwing stuff away, Throw your mind away, that's the best thing. And stop thinking about it, It's all ego. Throwing the murtis away, keeping the murtis, who are you? You don't know who you are. Find out who you are. And then you'll know who the murtis are, and then you'll know what the world is all about. And detached doesn't mean, if you are detached, that's neither holding on to or pushing away. Why do you need to make a stand somewhere? That's all ego. Who am I? Oh, now I'm free of this. Bullshit. It's just now you're negative. Before you were positive. You were clinging. Now you're pushing away. Who's doing that? That's what you need to find out. But that wasn't an order of, okay, I'm not getting into the vaccine thing, okay? You do what you want, enjoy, be yourself, do the vaccine or don't do the vaccine. That's your issues. I have nothing to say about it. Do I keep any fasts? No, I don't. Maharaj used to keep Ekadashi, which is, I'm not exactly sure what it is, but there's a certain day every month, or is it every week? Every month, I think, that you do a certain kind of fast. And for a long time, we used to fast on Tuesdays. But of course, in India, sometimes fast just means no grains. So you can eat fruit and drink milk and stuff like that. But we used to fast on Tuesdays because that's Hanuman's day. And that's one of the things that people can do as a practice. Can you talk a little bit about how your previous time in your life that you faced addiction led you to where you are now? I feel that some of our darkest hours lead to our deepest insights. Yeah, I certainly understand addiction now, and I can certainly be with people who are having those issues and feel and really know what they're going through, and have much more, be much more open to their experience, and I know how hard it is to deal with those issues. In a sense, it gives you more compassion when you yourself have gone through those things. So yeah, it's very difficult stuff. Very difficult stuff. Hanuman Chalisa seems daunting to pronounce and remember all of it. Any tips on how to proceed? Yeah. Who said you have to memorize it? Sing it. Read it. You don't have to memorize it. Where does it say that? Don't torture yourself. Read it, enjoy doing it, enjoy the practice, and after you do it 40 billion times, you'll probably remember it. Was I originally from a Christian family? No, I am Jewish on my parents' side. What's the best practice for releasing fear? The same practice that we're doing. Repetition of the name is everything is accomplished through that practice. Everything. If you expect to be able to push a button and have 50 years of fear disappear, obviously that's not realistic. But when you start doing practice regularly and you get a feeling for letting go and coming back to the sound of the name, either in your mind, on your tongue, out loud, after a while you're training yourself to live in a more open space. It's mind training. And that doesn't mean you're not going to get stuck in different negative states from time to time. Absolutely. Why would it mean that? It's not a button to push and makes everything go away. We have to work with the karmas we've created. We have to work with the situations that arise in our lives that just show up, you know. We don't know where they came from, but whatever's here, we have to learn how to deal with it. So if there's fear in there, I don't think that positive thinking and affirmations are as very useful. I mean, they are helpful at times, for sure. But sooner or later, you have to get deeper than the conceptual level of thought. So, yeah. So through the repetition of the name, that will happen over time. Through any practice, that will happen over time. But we're here as we do this practice of the repetition of the name. Will God punish me if I smoke weed and have the desire for it? What is your idea of God? Some angry guy up in the sky with a long beard and throwing thunderbolts out? You're punishing yourself with your own guilt, and you don't even know how to deal with that. The guilt is not coming from God. Whoever you think and whatever you think that is. if I smoke weed and have the desire for it, well, you know, if you want to smoke, smoke. See what happens. If that makes you happy, why wouldn't you do it? But when you do it, be honest with yourself. Are you really enjoying? Is it making your life better in any way? Or is it not making your life better? Only you are responsible for your own actions. There's nobody judging you out there in the sky. It's you judging yourself. So ask yourself, is this what I want to do? Is this the right thing for me? And if it is, knock yourself out. You know, Maharaji said, you know, he told us not to smoke hash. A lot of the Westerners were smoking a lot of hash. And so at one point he said, look, if smoking hash would get you to God, we could fill a room with it and I'd come in there and we all smoke it together. But it won't do that. That's what he said. So it depends on what you want for your life. It's your life. Make your decisions and be aware of what's happening. How can one live one's life without any desires? Can I explain? I don't know. Where did you get the idea that you have to live your life without desire? When you breathe, the body has a desire to keep breathing. You can't live without that. You breathe out. Try not breathing in. You'll feel desire to breathe. That's basic. Eating. We have to eat. That's a desire too. That's a need. Nowhere does it say that you have to give up all desire. What one ultimately has to give up is desires that create suffering for ourselves and others. But that's not so easy to see. In a personal way, but in a cultural way, you can see that people's greed for money and power creates extraordinary suffering. So it would be nice if people were more self-aware and saw what they were doing. But we can't even see that on our own personal level, so how can we expect anybody else to see? You can't give up desire. And the lineage of Hanuman is very different than a sannyasi renunciate lineage. In this lineage, Hanuman very specifically helps us to satisfy the desires that we need to satisfy, to feed ourselves in ways that we need to be fed in order to move on in life and become free. Becoming free of desire doesn't necessarily mean having no desire. It means not identifying with them and that they don't push you around, they don't run your life anymore in the way that they do at this point. We're human beings. Desire comes with the package. Certain needs come with the package. A couple of years ago, I guess 3 years ago now, I was in Hong Kong singing. We sang in Japan, and then we went to Hong Kong. And I took the train up to the top of the mountain in Hong Kong. I was looking down over this city, which was jam-packed with huge, tall buildings, and there were boats coming and going and it was so intense. There was so much energy there, like needy desire energy, really just people like making money and this and that and building more and more business and this. I just thought, what happened? How did this happen? All you need, you could live under a tree, you eat a little, you breathe a little, you fuck a little, and you're happy. Where did this whole city thing happen? Why did everybody gather together like this? It blew my mind. I thought, how did this happen? But this is this world. People dedicate their whole lives to grabbing more stuff. Wow. And it's hard to get over that. It's hard to stop when you have enough. You always want more. So when you ask about desire, to live in harmony with the desires, to have enough, okay, that's enough. You don't have to go out and have more. You don't have to eat 3 big things of ice cream. 1 might be enough, but you keep going. Oh, da, da, da. Now that's when the desires get destructive and negative. But if you were able to be happy with 1 ice cream, you'll be okay. You don't need 50 ice cream pops. So, but anyway, from repetition of the name, everything is accomplished. Everything is accomplished. Do some practice. Don't think about it so much. Do some practice. Try to be a good person. Practice will give us the strength to live in a good way. It changes us from the inside. We're not running the show. We don't have to change ourselves. Let the practice work on you. Let the practice soften your heart. Let the practice bring new ideas and new realizations into your consciousness. All right, so the story about Hanuman. Hanuman means the guy with the jaw, the crooked jaw. Hanu is jaw, and Man in this case means the one with the crooked jaw. And the story is that when he was a baby, Hanuman is a manifestation of Shiva, of Shiva's energy, who Shiva wanted to be here on earth to help Ram accomplish what he had to accomplish. So he sent his package of energy through the wind god into Hanuman's mother, and Hanuman came out with all the powers. He could everything. He could fly, he could be little, he could be small, he could be all the siddhis, as they say. And you know, they say that the child forms of the deities like Krishna and Rama are the most powerful because they're unobstructed. Like a kid plays 100%, right? There's no mitigating factors of knowing what's right and wrong. They're just like, shh. So when Hanuman saw the sun rising one day as a baby, and it looked like a sweet fruit to him. So he jumps up into the air and he starts flying, and he flies into space, and he got huge too, and he was about to devour the sun. So Indra, who's the king of gods, that level of gods, who's in, and the sun god is one of those also on that level. So Indra sent his thunderbolt and knocked Hanuman to the ground hit him in the jaw. So he became known as Hanuman, the one with the broken jaw. And Hanuman's father was the wind god. And so when he saw what happened to his son, he stopped the wind. He stopped all movement. And people were dying, and the whole universe was about to crash because the wind god refused to allow energy to flow. And finally, Indra apologized and blessed Hanuman with some powers and stuff like that, and then everything was okay. So that's part of the story. So, let's do that Hanuman mantra, since we've been talking so much about Hanuman. Om Ham Hanumate Namah. Om Hanumate Namah. Om Hanumate Namah. Om Hanumate. Om Hanumate. Om Hanumate Namah. Om Hanumate Namah. Om Hanumate Namah. Om Hanumate. Om Hanumate. Om Hanumate Namah. Om Hanumate Namah. Hanumate Namah. Om Hanumate. Om Hanumate. Om Hanumate Namah. Hanumate Namah. Om Hanumate Namah. So it's Guru Purnima, tomorrow the full moon, during which time this moon is worshipped, the Guru is worshipped at this time. The Guru is worshipped at this time. So I'm going to sing a little puja. Akhandamandalakaram Vyaptam Jena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurum militam yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Dhyanamulam Guru Murti Pujamulam Guru Padam Mantramulam Guru Vakyam Mokshamulam Guru Kripa. Madhye sthita mata Matri madhye sthito guru Guru mata namastestu Matri guru namamyaham. Sharanam Shri Hari Sharanam Shri Guru Sharanam Shri Hari Sharanam Shri Guru Sharanam Shri Hari Sharanam Guru Charanam Shri Hari Sharanam Shri Guru Charanam Shri Hari Sharanam Shri Guru Charanam Hari Sharanam, Shri Guru Charanam, Shri 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 Hari Sharanam. Shri Guru Charana Saroja Raja Nijamana Mukuru Sudhari Varana Raghubara Vimala Jasu Jodhayaku Palachar Buddhihin Tanujan ke Sumeron Pavana Kumar Siaram Vallabudhi Vidya Tehu Mohin Hardahu Klesa Bika Siavara Ramachandra Pajaje Sharan Jai Hanuman Jana Guna Saga Jai Kapis Tihun Loka Ujjaya Ramaduta Tulita Baladama Anjani Putra Pavana Sutana Mahavir Vikram Vajarangi Matinuvara Sumati Kesangi Kanchanavaran Viraja Subesa Kanana Kundala Kunchita Kesa Hatha Bajra Tvaja Viraja Kande Munja Chaneu Saja Shankara Suvana Kesari Nandan Teja Pratapa Mahajagavan Vidyavan Guni Ati Chaturamakkhaja Karibe Koatu Prabhu Charitra Sunibe Korasya Ram Ramalakhan Sita man base Sukshma rupa dhare siya hind kava Vikata rupa dhare lanka jara Bhima rupa dhare asura sanhare Ramachandra ke kaja sanwar Laya sanjivana dakkana jiyaye Shri Raghuveera parashirlai Raghupati kinhi bahut baraye Tumma mamma priya bharatai samabhai Sahasabadan tumaro jasa gavan Sakahi Shri Pati Kanta laga Sanakadika Brahmadi Munisa Narad Sharad Sahita Hisa Yamakubher Digapala Jahante Kabhi ko bhid kahe sake kahante Maupakar Sugriva inkinha Rama milaya rajapadadi Maro mantra bibishanaman Lankeshwara Sabba Jagajan Yuga Sahasra Chojana Paraban Ilyotahi Madura Palajan Prabhu Mudrika Nele Mukamahi Jala Dilangi Gaye Achara Janahi Durga Makaj Jagat ke jete Sugama anugrah tumhare te Ram duare tumhara kavare Hotana agya jinno pezar Sab sukla hai Tumhari sharan Tumhara chakka kahu kodhar Apana teja samaro ape Tinon lokahan katinkampe Utpisasha nikat nahi aave Mahavir Javanam Sunam Nase roga Hare Sabha Pira Japat Nirantara Hanumatabhir Sankatate Hanuman Shurave Manakrama Bachana Jolave Sabha Pararama Tapasvi Raja Tina Ke Kaja Sakala Tumasaja Ora Manorat Choko Elave Soya Mitta Jivana Palapare Charon Yuga Paratap Tumhara Hai Parasiddha Jagata Ujjaya Sadhu Sant Ke Tumhara Kavare Asura Nikandana Rama Dulare Ashta Siddhi नो निधि के दाता सवर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पास सदा रहो रघुपति के दास तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुवर उड़ जाए जहाँ जन्म हर भक्त कहाय और देवता चित्त न डरई हनुमत से सुख करे संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमेरे हनुमत बलबीर जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाय जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई जुत ही बंदी महासुख होय रोया पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा होया सिद्धि साकी घोड़ीस तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा कीजे नाथ हृदय मंदिर पवन तनय संकट हरण मंगल मूर्ति रूप सियारा राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसव सुरभूप सियावर रामचंद्र पद जय शरण मंगल मूर्ति मारुतनंदन सकल अमंगल मूल निकंद मंगल मूर्ति मारुतनंदन सकल मंगल मूल निकंद श्री राम जय जय राम राम जय जय राम बोलो श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम सीताराम निताराम जय जय सीताराम सीताराम निताराम जय जय सीताराम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम राम लक्ष्मण जानकी जय बोलो हनुमान की राम लक्ष्मण जानकी जय बोलो हनुमान की राम Rama Lakshmana Janaki. Rama Lakshmana Janaki Jai Bolo Hanuman ki. Sitaram, Sitaram, Jai Jai Sitaram, 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 Jai Jai Sitaram, Sitaram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Rama Lakshmana Janaki Jai Bolo Hanuman ki. Ram Rama Lakshmana Janaki Jai Bolo Hanuman ki. Rama Lakshmana Sitaram, Sitaram, Jai Jai Sitaram, 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 Jai Jai Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram. Sitaram, Sitaram, Jai Jai Sitaram, 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 Jai Jai Sitaram, Sitaram. Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Sitaram, Jai Sitaram, Sitaram, Jai Sitaram. So, it's late, but I'm going to sing the arti, so hang around if you want. Om Jai Jagadish Hare Swami Jai Jagadish Hare Bhakta Janana Ke Sankat Dina Janana Ke Sankat Kshaname Dura Kare Om Jai Jagadish Hare Jo dhyave pallapave dukha binase manaka dukha binase manaka sukha sampatti gara ave Sukha sampatti gara ave Kashta अष्टमिते तन्नका Om Jai Jagadish Hare Mata Pita Tum Mere Sharan Gahun Kisaki Swami Sharan Gahun Kisaki Tum Bina Ora Naduja Tum Bina Ora Naduja Asha Karon Jesaki Om Jai Jagadish Hare Tum Purana Paramatma Tum Antarayami Ami Tum Antarayami Para Brahma Parameshwar Para Brahma Parameshwar Tum Sabke Swami Om Jai Jagadish Hare Tum Karuna Ke Sagar Tum palan karta, Swami tum palan karta. Main sevak tum Swami, main sevak tum Swami, Kripa karo bharta. Om Jai Jagadish Hare Tum ho ek agochar Sabke pranapati Swami sabke pranapati Kisa vidhi milo daya maya Kisa vidhi milo Daya Maya Tumko Main Kumati Om Jai Jagadish Hare Dina Bandhu Dukha Harta Tumarakshak Mere Swami Tumarakshak Mere अपने हाथ उठाओ अपने हाथ उठाओ पार परा तेरे ओम जय जगदीश हरे विषय विकार मिटाओ Papaharo Deva Swami Papaharo Deva Shraddha Bhakti Barhao Shraddha Bhakti Barhao Santan Ki Seva Om Jai Jagadish Hare Om Jai Jagadish Hare Swami Jai Jagadish Hare Bhakta Janan Ke Sankat Dina Janan Ke Sankat Shan mein dur kare Om Jai Jagadish Hare Om Jai Jagadish Hare Om Jai Jagadish Hare Syavar Ramachandra ki jai Shri Pavana Sutta Hanuman ki jai. Shri Umapati Mahadeva ki jai. Shri Vrindavan Banki Bihari Lal Shri Krishna Baladeva Bhagavan ki jai. Shri Shri Vindhyavasini Durga Devi Shri Siddhima ki jai. Shri 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 Bhavanim Karoli Santa Maharaj ki jai. If we know anything about path at all, if we know there might be a way to live in this world in a good way, with an open heart, without fear, and maybe some peace of mind. If we know anything about that, it's only because of the great beings that have gone before us. Out of their love, out of their kindness, they left some footprints for us to follow. So, in the same way that they wish for us, in the same way that they wish for us, we wish that all beings everywhere, all of us, be safe, be happy, that all of us have good health and enough to eat. And may we all live in peace and at ease of heart, with whatever comes to us in life. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste. Take good care. Happy Guru Purnima. May that Guru, the love that lives within us, become more and more present in all hearts. Ram Ram.